You know Naruto is definitely the best out of the big three, right? You're joking, right? Naruto isn't even the second best of the big three. Watch your mouth. How about you watch this? Besides Dragon Ball, Naruto was one of my first real experiences with anime. Of course, that's if you ignore Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and that one time I watched the Evangelion movie when I was a small child and it scared the living shit out of me. A better way to put it would be that Naruto was my first long-time investment with anime. It's what made me fall in love with anime. Growing up with Naruto was such a cathartic experience, but now, I feel pretty differently about it. And that's why we're here to talk about Naruto. But first, did you grow up with Naruto? How do you feel about it now? And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like as it helps push the video through the algorithm, and to subscribe. This isn't to say I hate or dislike Naruto now. I am able to recognize it for its worth, and I still look back on it fondly. I just don't enjoy it as much anymore. I've recently read it, and the experience was okay. It has great art, and the story is well written. Okay. A little bit of history to that. Ever since I read One Piece, I've been wanting to go back and reread the originals that I enjoyed. Rewatching the likes of Dragon Ball, Gundam, Evangelion, so on and so forth. I didn't struggle with any of those as much as I struggled with getting back into Naruto. It took me several tries to pick the manga up or get through the anime, and I couldn't quite put my finger on why. If it has good art and good story writing, why couldn't I get into it? Then I figured it out. I had simply outgrown Naruto. Saying Naruto is for little kids. I just don't feel any relation to the current story that Naruto was trying to present. Which is why, while not liking Naruto anymore, I can still enjoy Boruto. It's no longer focusing on a character whose story had come to an end for me, and that was a definitive end for me. When I originally put Naruto down, it was the last time for me. That was it. This is why I have such a negative outlook on Naruto. Why don't I feel this way about Bleach? I think that it has everything to do with the ending. Disregarding your opinion on the war arc and the whole Kaguya thing, you have to admit that the final fight between Naruto and Sasuke was a very satisfying ending. It left me feeling like the series had everything wrapped up nicely. Whereas with Bleach, I liked the ending, I just felt like there was so much more to the world. I never got to have that feeling of conclusion with Bleach. But if you want to hear my pros and cons for Naruto, here they are. Starting with the pros. Naruto is a very well-written story about growth, dreams, and ambitions. It's a story about cherishing those around you and coming out of your shell. There are so many important aspects to the story that it's extremely hard to say it's about any one thing. Kishimoto's art is fantastic from the start, and seeing it develop throughout Naruto and Shippuden is amazing. Matsumoto added so much more to the series with the way he animated certain fights in the anime, like with Rock Lee vs. Gaara, as well as the many memorable moments given to us from this series. I will always remember Naruto and Sasuke versus Haku. I will always remember Gaara coming to save Rock Lee. And these are the memories that I will look fondly back at when I think of Naruto. Even though it was such an important show in my childhood, it doesn't mean it didn't have its problem. Looking at the anime with the biggest complaint being fillers. I get it though. The manga wasn't coming out fast enough. There wasn't enough material, so they had to make filler. Doesn't mean I have to like it though. Then you have Naruto's overall pacing, which I'd say is inconsistent at best. Sometimes it's blistering fast, sometimes it's dreadfully slow. The faster paced spots aren't so bad, but the slower ones are absolutely horrendous to get through. I'm not gonna talk about the war arc. That's been done 1,000 times, and honestly, I don't have that big of a problem with the war arc. Now that I'm looking back on it, this wasn't really a review of any sort. This was more of a looking back on. Understand, I don't dislike Naruto at all. I just think One Piece and Bleach are more engaging stories for me where I am in my life. I get more enjoyment out of them. And that's really what it comes down to. Everybody is going to have a different top 5 anime list. While the quality of writing and art can definitely be objectively better, that doesn't really matter, because it all depends on an individual's personal taste. While Naruto is no longer in my top 5, it can be there for a lot of other people. And that's okay. With that though, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Next up will either be my Yu-Gi-Oh video or let's talk about Bleach. Peace.